Hey everybody, buckle up. We are going to go for a ride down to Iowa because Kim Reynolds has signed into law school choice for the entire state of Iowa. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Matt Logan Show. You know, Craig, I am humbled by the people that have reached out. Where are the podcasts? Like, it's cool. It also feels a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say. I really am grateful for people that do reach out in a positive manner. The people that reach out in a negative manner, that's even more fuel for the fire, right? Just literally today, I had somebody say that I'm worth $19 million apparently.
Wow.
And I'm like, well,
I
cool,
need a pay
man.
raise.
I don't know, like maybe $19 million in debt. I don't know. Maybe that's probably more accurate than being worth $19 million.
Dollars or pesos?
Well, yeah, exactly. And you know, it's disingenuous trolls and whatever. Maybe there's somebody obviously there's more Matt Logans in the world, and they're clearly worth more than I am. But I've never taken a penny from any of the followers. Frankly, I don't have enough followers to sustain any kind of like monetary end of this. And that's just the honest truth. I'm not saying that will always be the case. I did start like it's shinybrandproducts.com. I'll throw that in there, but very slowly starting to do some products, sweatshirts, t-shirts and stuff. But it will always be 100% under my control. I have decided that over the years here, and so keep adding fuel to the fire, the negative, the positive. We appreciate that. But the reality is that I am a truck driver. I've said that before. That's how I make my living. That's the thing I do to pay the bills I have, as I've said many times. And so I do this because I don't know who to trust. So I'll trust in God. The rest of it I'll research.
There you go.
So we researched this thing in Iowa, and $7,500, $7,598 to be exact, a year is going into an education savings account for what is called private school tuition for each student in Iowa. My bias here, I'm going to confirm as being 100% for this. Mm-hmm. As I've traveled all through our country, the importance of this and putting that power and control back into an individual's hands is dynamically important. Crucial, as I would say.
Absolutely. I think so. Parents should have the choice of where they want their kids' education to come from. And, where we're in our area, we do have some choices, but if you don't like the public schools, it's coming out of pocket.
And it's expensive.
It is expensive. And
I'm not saying it's not worth it.
But there's a lot of families that can't afford that. And yes, there's some scholarship options, but this opens up other options for families that don't have the financial ability to have their kids taught the way that they want them to be taught.
Right before we started recording this, you mentioned let's just say the left, the Democrats that are against this. There's also some Republicans now that have joined in with the Democrats, 12, in fact, from the House side and 3 in the Senate side, to oppose this down in Iowa. The research, why don't you start first, and then the research kind of shows something I think we both will probably agree on. But go for it. What did you find?
Yeah. I mean, so first off, I have a lot of friends that are teachers, and I have the utmost respect for kind of the ones in the trenches, the teachers that are in the classrooms teaching, the boots on the ground. What I get frustrated with our educational system is the administration and the over-management of things and the agendas. And I think having the school choice lets parents put their children where they feel ethically and morally that they should belong. And having the school choice allows that. And I think from my research and looking at all sides, and even looking at it from the left side, it's about having control of the money. And it's a self-serving, in my opinion, it seems to be a self-serving union for the teachers' unions. And my friends that are all teachers, they're all union members, but I don't think they really have a choice. And I am not anti-union by any means. I think there's a time and a place in professions where unions are extremely important. And I think there's situations where they're abusive with their power. And I think our teachers' unions are extremely abusive of their power.
On the federal level, extremely abusive, in my opinion.
In the state level, the money that they put into politics is such a waste because that money should be going to the kids' education. And it's not. I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars wasted on lobbying our politicians and not on our students. And it's not right. It's not how you make kids better. It's not how you teach kids better.
So what it boils down to is this is not money that's coming in from any other source other than from taxpayers. Mm-hmm. That's the bottom line. Mm-hmm. And who should have the say other than a taxpayer?
Absolutely.
What is used for their kid? Right. Now, are there different level of taxpayer? Yes, absolutely. You and I have privately talked about what I paid in 21. And I'm scared to look at what I'm going to have to pay in. I mean, I run a business. Mm-hmm. And, it's a very small business. I'm the only person, but it's still a business. I still have to make ends meet and all those other things. Yep. And the reality is there's significant amounts of taxes that have to be paid in all kinds of levels and facets, and fuel tax and income tax and sales tax and all of these things that are taxed. I would love for my grandkids to have my kids that are parents to my grandkids have the choice of where to send them to school. Right. Does it come with a few issues? Sure. Are they going to be able to be bused somewhere or not? But here's what it does.
The parents know that going in.
Yes. Here's what it does for me, putting that back in the responsibility of the individual and where they're going to send their kids, now ends up putting pressure on a school district to perform.
Exactly.
And that's when the rubber meets the road. At the end of the day, we have to have schools that perform for our students.
They have to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
And there's so many variables.
Nothing more power than being held accountable with finances.
Right.
There really isn't.
If you have to earn the tax money to come to you because the students come to you, free market, earn it.
Yep.
The school districts need to prove their worth. And there's so many facets to this of, the unions protecting the tenured teachers that are almost impossible to get rid of, whether they're good, bad, or otherwise. That is a big hiccup for me with the teachers unions and pushing their agendas, which is a whole other thing. But even if, and there's different studies depending on how you look at it, even if the test scores don't increase, and there's reasoning, the public schools teach to take tests. The private schools teach to teach. In general, maybe that's just my bias. But if the public
I think
schools,
test scores would actually show that.
Right. But if the threat of pulling students from public schools to private schools improves the public schools, isn't that alone worth it?
I think
God knows our public schools need to improve.
I think that people are getting wrapped up into this as a matter of they're going to, public school teachers won't exist anymore because there won't be any more public schools. Well, okay, if you want to be...
There's an argument against that.
I mean, I don't know. I suppose there's certain areas maybe that's real. But I don't think as a whole that's going to be anything that we'll be needing to worry about. But and the reason I say that is that there are school districts, and there are certain parts of those school districts that they suck.
Yeah.
These are tenured teachers that just hang out and they don't care. They push agendas. I've seen hundreds of hours of videos and all this. Well, that's just a right-wing, conspiracy propaganda. It's not.
There's video proof otherwise.
There's all kinds of video proof, and it's really disgusting that some of the things that they're trying to teach and show the kids at certain ages, not going to go down that path. But what this will do is we'll be able to allow parents to say, you know what, we are going to drive them to school and get them back home. We're going to go the extra 20 miles every day, 30 miles every day, whatever the case is. And we're going to get an education.
Yep.
That's that.
And there's so many reasons to...
So I'm going to interrupt you a second. I'm sorry. I just thought of something. I read a book. Amazing. I know I can read. Not very well, but I can.
Top to bottom, left to right.
So Jonathan Haidt is the primary author, and I can't remember the co-author now, but wrote a book, and I'll look it up while I'm talking about it here. But I think it's called Coddling. I don't even know if I know how to spell coddling right now. My brain's frozen.
It's pretty chilly also.
There we go. Coddling of the American Mind. Should put my glasses on too. So the Coddling of the American Mind, Jonathan Lukanoff and Greg Lukanoff and Jonathan Haidt here co-authored this book. I've read it a couple of times. It was very interesting. It's mainly college, and these are leftists that are calling out the leftists in the college system. And they said that in this book, and I'm not going to get the numbers right, but it's a staggering number of administration that has gone from, and it's in the public schools as well. I know it's not quite the same, but administration and these unions and everything, I mean, it literally rolls like 70% in 10 years. It's insane.
The amount
you
of
don't need to
management
added.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's where when you get competitive on the public school end of things for, K through 12, that administration is gonna have to figure out ways to perform and make sure their teachers perform, or none of them are gonna have a job in that area.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a positive for me. I mean, we have to have accountability on every level, student level, teacher level, administration level, and things like that. So that's how I'm ending that one.
Yeah, I guess we have a form of open or school choice because we were able to open enroll my daughter into a public school in a adjacent town. And what I see her learning there and how they are with the kids there compared to what I see my friends' kids doing in Rochester where my daughter should be going to school, I am so happy that we had the opportunity to put her into a smaller school district. Just back to the basics, back to just doing good things and being a good person and teaching them how to be a good person and not agendas.
Yeah,
and it's parents should have that choice. Unfortunately, in our area, a lot of the smaller towns around us, they have so much open enrollment that they had to close it because they don't have any more room in their schools with the kids in town, the local kids, plus kids coming out from Rochester. I mean, the amount of students that Rochester schools have lost in the last couple of years is mind-blowing. Well, now they have to have budget cuts. Well, no doubt you have to have budget cuts because you're not getting the money from the state. But that's only allowed because it's from one public school to another public school. I can only imagine what would happen if Minnesota went to the school choice and Rochester parents were able to put their students into Rochester private schools. And it's not just a religious thing, the tendency in our area is the Catholic school systems, but there's non-Catholic private schools too, and I think their enrollment is doing really good in the last couple of years. But I don't think that's the only reason that parents are sending their kids to those private schools. So it's not just a religious thing.
So that made me think of how we'll end this one. What you do speak so loudly, I cannot hear what you're saying. Trying to remember, do they have his name here that said that? But I think that is exactly, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Yeah. That just reminded me of that. That's what it is. The actions need to be so loud we can't hear what you're saying. And these teachers their actions need to be so loud we can't hear what they're saying. And what is happening is the actions that are happening, they're not signed up for it, and nor should they be for their little kids. And so that's why I believe one reason the left especially is really resisting this is because they're going to lose that power. And that's it. What do you got? I'm done. I'm out.
I agree.
I'm out.
We should be able to choose. Yeah. We should be able to choose how our kids are educated.
Thanks for joining us. Smash the like button. Wait, no, that's not right. What do I say?
Hammer
the like button. Hammer out a comment to us. Email me at AskMatt@mattloganspeaks.com, I guess.
Yeah.
See you next time.